So I've just watched a pretty interesting video by Sage Bodhisattva on who is consciousness, and I wanted to respond into this and not only, I guess, acknowledge and give some recognition to that video and suggest that there is something certainly right-minded and very interesting about that, but I want to rally behind that and suggest the same problem occurs with language. When people want to get at what is language, that's the way they phrase the question. They say, what is language? What is speech? Other people have come along and they've seen, oh no, that's not going to work. They say, how is speech? And they've tried to understand the workings of speech and try to get out of the idea that speech is some sort of thing that you're going to be able to understand, and instead they tried to look at it in terms of its workings. But actually, people need to learn to ask the who question about speech. Speech, words, discourse, language, these are disclosures of a who. There's always a who is speaking. Speech reveals, makes possible a who. It's not just that there is a person and then they have this thing there called language that has certain characteristics, nor is language just a means to an ends. It's not just a how, but it reveals and implicates and makes possible a certain kind of identity. Language, speech, or communication most broadly, these are mediums. They mediate. They're forms of mediation, right? Which means that they make possible a who and a that who is a where and a when that makes possible a why, right? So when you put all of those together, you sort of have this, there is a where and a when that makes possible a who and a why. The question is to ask, how does each medium of communication, how does each mode of communication, each manifestation of communicative process, how does it alter, amplify, make possible, make room for a sense of space and a sense of time? And then how do the senses of space and time make possible senses of self and senses of purpose? That is, why do people do what they do, and who do they think they are? You can't get at those questions, I don't think, without actually addressing the where and the when by which that purpose and that person proceed, right? There is an integral nesting of who in terms of where and when, and that where and when and who, they make possible and legitimate a sense of why, a sense of purpose, a sense of motive for the things that people do. Within that context, I do greatly appreciate Sage Bodhisattva's video, and I realize that my response here is very far afield from what you're suggesting, but I do think that your argument that the polarization of thought into theist and atheistic, of religious and scientific, not realizing a common mystery behind that, which I think is a kind of dream of space and time, and those release a who now has a sense of why. Okay, thanks.